Hello, guys. I was asked to make a combination between Ardor and Whirlwind team building. What kind of team would you build with that? I don't even remember who the aces for that is, so you guys might want to check that out without my checking. They changed the aces, so I'm pretty lost on what's what nowadays on ace-wise if they're not light or dark. So let's get started. So it's going to be a pretty simple kind of building. Front is very limited. Mid has four players who are 5-star, and backline is where the funk is going to be going down. So let's get started. First thing is the center front is going to be a lane in any of the two. So that can't get any more clear. It's just an obvious thing. Then what you're going to do, depending if you're running William for PvP or Char for PvE, you're usually going to have as passer Renee just for those nice line buffs. And if you're going Wormwind, you're actually going to run what's currently best in the meta would be Shanti, and you would be running Evelyn as the passer. Now, for current lines, there's a lot of difference in how you're going to be building it, but current doesn't really work in duels. He really works best in mono, so that's why I'm not going to be going down on detail for him. Now, for midline, it's going to be, again, pretty simple. The center mid in both elements is the best, is by far Lidmay, even counting legends, so we don't need to be questioning that. Now, on one of the sides, we're going to want to go to Ardor and stick good old annoying Victoria with her 50% line buff, who is being compared to Beth all the time, who really does piss me off, but that's a detail. And then for the other side, depending on what you're running, you have two options who are both very viable. You can either decide to stick Galf, because his actual best position is midline. He has a reflex line buff, he'll heal the mid, and he has a heal active, allowing you to not need a healer in backline, or just have an Alios in backline and just use this for the active, allowing your backline to be much more tanky. Or if you prefer to not use that and just have the healer in backline like most people, you can always go the Vivid Fear way. She has some great reflex buffs, debuffs, and heal on attack, who will pair very well with Victoria's Revive when doing a crit. So all of this combined will make a really good back. Front and mid. Some options depending on what you're running, but again, this would be more mono Whirlwind or Whirlwind Dark. Would be putting a Silk in midline. I'm not going to advise this unless you know exactly what you're doing, and those are for maybe some more advanced comps. Again, critical resistance comp, maybe don't run her there for now. Now for the backline, as a lot of you know, there were some goalkeeper changes. Angela got nerfed recently. Lucian didn't get buffed. It's pretty bad. Now, you do need to know that Magnus is a rainbow totem. A lot of people are hating on that. I kind of do agree that it's bullshit, so that does mean that you can throw any element with him, and that's why you will see him in every mono legend backline when you need a rest totem. So, pretty much in Ardor, the backline you would be looking at is Death Queen, Galf, Kevin, maybe a Yuri, maybe a legend. But the thing is, since you're not able to really go Ardor because there's no good goalkeeper, you're still going to be able to keep Galf and Kevin. Now again, Galf, as I said previously, could be used in midline if you have, for example, an Alios back. But if you don't, you can use him in backline with Kevin. With that, you're going to be sticking a Magnus, and then you're usually going to be sticking our good old friend Kiki. Now, if instead you decide that you want to go critical resistance with Iris changes, she is extremely viable. Black Tortoise is pretty decent in that category too, but I would say now that Ira has been buffed, I would more advise going the Ira road for critical resistance, and she is now extremely viable for changes in her kit and no more gambling. You would stick in a Silk, so you would be trying to do something more like Kevin, Silk, Magnus, Kiki, line in the background, anything. You can even throw in a Samir, but again, that's maybe a little bit mono Wormwindish. It depends exactly what you're doing, but that's the kind of critical resistance line. Again, just a few tips. If you're running a Jin, always try have a Kiki for that affection chain. The meta is, let's be honest, the mono Wormwind backline. Jiho in backline is also pretty damn good. If you do get Jiho, I seriously advise you to use her as ace. She is just completely broken in that mid, in that front. It's going to be really good, especially with a Duran. There's going to be a lot of power just coming out of that. William Ace, again, more for mono. Shu Choi. Shu can be used as a backline healer and penetrator. He's not as strong as Curl with his global buff, but he's also pretty powerful with his global heal, so it's really a question of what you have. Just be aware that Curl, when being shot at, decreases the damage of the attacker by 30% because of how he steals attack when there's a fight, even through he's not technically fighting him, but that's kind of broken. It's like a Magnus kind of deal. So again, I would say honestly the meta would be to have Alios, Duran, Jin, Kuril, and Jiho with Jiho Ace in backline. I mean that would just be broken. Throw somewhere a Kiki, and you just life is magical. I've actually seen that in one or two comps. It was pretty damn powerful. But again, it does require that you own 5 legend, and that's not even talking about their front and mid. Most people are just gonna go rainbow and just destroy us. So if this helps you guys get an understanding on what Wormwind Ardor would look like, if you have any questions, comment, just put them in the description. I know there are some good players that I did not mention, even Aslan, but again, it's because they don't fit in this kind of combo, and that's why I'm not mentioning them. Have a good day, guys.